Hey, this is Smiles with the new review. Today, let's take a look at Rhythm Heaven Fever for the Nintendo Wii. Preceded by a Japanese exclusive for the Game Boy Advance and a DS version released internationally, Rhythm Heaven Fever is the third installment in the series. So, what is Rhythm Heaven exactly? Well, it's a rhythm-based game where you play a wide variety of minigames while keeping the beat. A cast of colorful characters cheer you on as you play some of the strangest scenarios known to man. The controls are quite simple. You either press A or A and B at the same time. The game is divided into 10 sections with 5 games in each one. The 5th game is a remix, but fuses the 4 previous games into a mashup. Each game lasts about a minute or two, which isn't incredibly long. With a simple premise and controls, it seems as though this game would be easy, right? Wrong! Rhythm Heaven is actually one of the most challenging games I've ever played. Even if you miss the beat by a fraction of a second, the game won't count it. Think you can get it perfect on every game? Wow, you go, big guy! It's a pretty tough challenge. When you progress through the later stages, the bar is raised considerably. I remember missing only 2 beats and barely passing with an OK. The game's quirky visuals will definitely throw you off. Sometimes, the game will give you odd visual cues like zooming out or blocking some of the screen. Rather than focusing on what's on screen, feel the rhythm and try to listen rather than watch. When you play a game, you can go through a quick tutorial similar to practice mode in the Mario Party series. The cool thing is that the game doesn't spoon-feed the strategies. They might go over the controls but don't tell you the exact count of the beat. It makes it that much more rewarding when you figure out the rhythm yourself. While unfairly tough at times, the challenge is one of the biggest pulls for the game. Rhythm Heaven's challenge can take you on an emotional roller coaster. 1 minute, I was completely flustered and wanted to break the game in half. The next, I was jumping up and down, excited that I finally hit every single ball that stupid man Joel threw at me. It's great when you finally overcome a difficult challenge, but be careful not to throw your Wiimote at your TV in frustration. You might notice that this game looks a lot like WarioWare, but that shouldn't be too much of a surprise. In fact, Shunku, developers of the WarioWare series, were also behind Rhythm Heaven Fever. This game is absolutely hilarious. You'll be laughing the entire time as you march with the Hue Birds of Happiness, play badminton in the air, defeat hordes of ninjas to retrieve a pinwheel, flip a roll with the seals, and so on and so forth. This game is funny to play or even just watch. Fair warning, you'll probably be quoting this game. With all rhythm games, music is important, and Rhythm Heaven doesn't disappoint. The songs are quite catchy. Many members of VGHL now bust out in song to the Karate Man game. Many of the synth-heavy songs sound like they belong in a Street Fighter game and can get your heart pumping. The soundtrack is a great listen and fits Rhythm Heaven Fever quite nicely. As far as replay value is concerned, Rhythm Heaven Fever doesn't have a superb amount to offer. The single-player mode consists of 50 games. Within 2 nights, you can probably knock them out. There's definitely an incentive to get it perfect on every game to unlock new content, including games from the original GBA version. The multiplayer in this game is good, but not great. For one thing, a handful of single-player games are translated into a 2-player co-op mode. Basically, you play the same game in single-player mode, but with 2 people at once. For such a simple transition from single to multiplayer, it's kind of disappointing they didn't do that with every single-player game. There are a few exclusive multiplayer games, but they are limited in number. Honestly, we at VGHL had the most fun just passing the controller around and unlocking new games. The replay value is just okay if you ask me. Here's my verdict on Rhythm Heaven Fever. Gameplay gets an 8.5. Rhythm Heaven Fever's simplistic controls make this game easy for anyone to play. While I'm inclined to say that motion control would be nice, it definitely makes this game even more difficult, so I'm glad they left it out. Design gets a 9. The fresh challenge is certainly welcome. While frustrating at times, this game pays off with persistence. Replay value gets a 7.5. While it's fun to play through the main single-player mode, it can be beaten rather quickly. Multiplayer doesn't have that much to offer, and quite frankly, the game can get dull if playing by yourself. The presentation gets an 8. While somewhat derivative of WarioWare, the characters are quirky in their own right, and the visuals will make you laugh out loud. The music fits the game nicely, and it's quite enjoyable to listen to. Overall, this game gets an 8. Rhythm Heaven Fever, I'm crazy into you.